What's up? Welcome to Trackletics Live, the ultimate show for all things track and field. Join us as we dive deep into the sport, interviewing track and field athletes, coaches, nutrition specialists, and more. Get ready to hear some dope conversations and gain exclusive insight into what it takes to become a top performer in the sport. Whether you're a seasoned track and field athlete or just starting off, this is the show for you. So make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Let's get into the show.
Hey, what's up? I'm really good. How are you guys?
Doing well,
Uh,
doing well. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit down and have this conversation with me. It
yeah, of
truly means
course.
a lot.
Can
I've been,
you hear me and everything
yes,
okay?
yep, you're
Okay,
good.
cool.
Good. I've been following your journey, seeing you put in some hard work over these last years. Definitely
Yeah.
want to get into that, but I want to take it all the way back to the beginning.
Okay.
How did you start running track and field? Why are you running track and field?
Yeah. So I started running track when I was 6 years old, and I honestly just loved to run. And we used to live on a farm in like Roseneath through a rice lake in Ontario. If anyone knows where that is, it's like kind of niche. And so we had a big like plot of land. We had like 11 acres, and I would just run through that all the time with my siblings. We were all really athletic, and my parents could just tell that I had speed and I had form. And we had some runners in my family in the past, so they're like, "Yeah, let's go for it."
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like you're out there living your best life. Um,
Honestly, yeah. I can't wait to own a farm again. That'd be sick.
that is pretty dope. But what made you fall in love with track and field? When did you fall in love with track and field?
I think I was always in love with it. Like I remember my dad took me to my first practice. I was 6 years old. We moved to Oshawa. So I was 6 years old and we went to Durham Legion Athletics track club practice in Oshawa. And there was a woman there named Sharon Wormke. And my dad was like, "Hey, my daughter wants to join the club." Da, 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 da. And she was like, "Girl, like you're way too young. You're 6 years old. I don't want to babysit anybody. I only start training athletes when they're 8." And I remember being devastated. So I think then I knew how much it meant to me, just like hearing my first immediate no on my first day of practice ever. And my dad pushed for it. He's like, "Let her do one practice and then make your decision. Like, don't make it right now. You haven't seen her run yet." I ran my heart out that practice and she decided to take me on. And then basically ended up being the babysitter she never wanted to be. We
Yeah,
were this close, Sharon and I. That's my girl.
her worst fear came true, but it's probably because,
Literally.
like your dad was saying, she saw something in you. She saw your form. She saw, how dedicated or how serious you were about this and how bad you really wanted it. That's
Yeah.
what it sounded like for me. So it's dope that she actually took that chance. And I mean, look at you now, so
Yeah. I
that
have to go see her actually. She still lives in Oshawa. I have to go see her and say hi.
you definitely need to because she took that chance on you.
She did.
Um, and she's that babysitter that she didn't want to be.
I know, and she
But
was great at it. She loved kids, so I don't know what she was talking about.
that was her fear. She didn't want to do that. She didn't
Yeah.
want to be at it and help out and be so invested. I'm pretty sure she's still watching your story, still
Oh,
supporting you, So
absolutely.
that could be a huge fear. You're supporting somebody and then, they veer off track or they just let you down. So I completely understand it, but it is dope that she actually gave you that chance, invested in you. And like I said, look at you now.
Yeah,
Um,
forever grateful.
yeah, from there,
Yeah.
moving to high school, what was your high school track experience like?
Interesting start because we almost didn't have a team. So I went to East LCVI High School, also in Oshawa. And when I got there, they were like, "We don't have a track team." And we're like, that's why I'm here. Like, I need a track team because I know you can't it'll be easier for me to get a scholarship if I have a track team. I want to go to OFSA. Like, I want to do all the stuff. OFSA is our like high school track program name. OFSA is our Ontario high school thing. It's kind of like states or something. Um, yeah, so I got there. We didn't have a track team, and they said that to have a track team officially, all we needed was one coach to agree to host a practice and that's all we needed. So I said, okay, I just need one teacher who's willing to spend a couple days a week after school, and we'll call that track practice. And we found one teacher. His name is Mr. Astle. He said he would do it. Again, grateful for him. And we ended up having a couple kids that were interested. So we had like a team of 5, which
Wow.
is really small, but I mean, that's all we needed on paper. It was like one teacher and a couple athletes.
And boom, now we got a team. You legit
Yeah.
built a track team. Where did you get these other athletes from? Did you pull them from other sports? Were there friends around school that you knew?
No, they were just interested on their own.
That's
So like there was an interest, but I don't think there was like a let's make this happen, because no one was taking track as seriously at the time, possibly. But maybe they didn't know that if there was no team that there was an option to create it. I'm not sure why. But when they found out that there was a teacher willing, people shut up.
wow. That's really
Yeah.
dope. That shows how important, or how track and field can really like bring together people that you've never known before, people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Track and field is a really dope sport. It's both genders inclusive. Unlike if
Yeah.
you're watching football, you're really just watching men, or if you're watching basketball, you tend to watch men or women. Track is both, so you're roping in people from school. That's really dope.
Yeah.
Really dope. Very inspiring story. Then how did that season go?
All of high school was really positive. I ended up only doing the first 3 years of high school track. I did the 100, 200, 400 my first and second year. And then my third year, I did the 100 hurdles, 400 hurdles, and the 200. Our last year, all the schools in my area, like all the public schools, went on strike. So none of us got to run my senior year. But
Yikes.
I had secured my scholarship to a NCAA school in grade 11, like at the end of grade 11. So like I was okay on that, but it was still disappointing. Like you want to do your senior year.
Yeah, you still want to compete your senior year,
Yeah.
win some medals, win some championships or something. It's senior year.
Yeah, it's senior year. All your friends one last time. Some of these relay teams, some of these relay matchups you'd never see. We didn't have a team big enough for the relay, but I was a spectator because I'm a fan of the sport too. So,
Yeah,
but yeah.
dang, that sucks. But it's great that you got your scholarship in 11th grade.
Yeah.
And out of all the schools that you could have chose or that you could have went to, why did you end up choosing the school you went to? You ended up going to Texas, right?
Yeah, University of Texas. Honestly, I knew going in that the schools that were offering me were gonna have really good track programs and they were gonna have good academics. So I was like, okay, everybody has that. Check, check, check. So I needed to find a place where I felt like I could truly live for 4 years and where like the people felt like they could be like my people, like where I felt comfortable. Because if track doesn't go as planned, which it did not, that's where I was going to have to live. So I just chose where I felt really comfortable. I really liked the team and the coach on my visit.
Wow, that's dope. Yeah, it is important to find a place that one can be a second home to you, really welcome you in and invest in you.
Yeah.
Because there's some teams or some coaches that would really just use you, use you, abuse you, and get rid of you when they're done with you.
NCAA can be a cruel place, man.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, it seems like it's getting better for athletes out there in the transfer portal, NIL deals and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
But a little bit before that, real cutthroat business out there.
Yeah, and even further, like before my time, like when I was on the team, it was hard to like get rid of an athlete for an injury. But I know like coaches before me that said, "Oh yeah, I got injured," and they kicked me off the team like straight, no questions.
Hmm.
So it's getting a little less ruthless. It's still tough. It's like all the best of the best showing up in one spot and competing, but it's getting better.
Yeah, I had some friends that got injured and got cut from the team, lost their scholarship.
Yeah,
Where else? Nowadays, I know some athletes that still get to keep their scholarship, no longer run for their senior year. So
right.
things seem like they're getting better.
I hope
But
so.
yeah, I hope that's what I was going to say. I hope so. I'm pretty sure there's still athletes out there suffering, getting cut, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy out there. But what was your experience like at Texas?
Yeah. Yeah, so I had a really good time. Like my friends, like I said, the ones that I initially thought I would get along with really well, They were awesome. I made even more friends as like new people came in and out. I love the city. We went to a lot of concerts. There's like a whole bunch of stuff to do in Austin. The track and the things did not go as I planned. I ended up showing up my freshman year with a small hamstring injury that took a little longer than planned to heal. And then I think it's either my second or my third year, I got an Achilles injury that I couldn't get rid of for like, which ended up being like 6 years. It was awful. So the track didn't go as I wanted it to. So I had to do that whole like, who am I outside of my sport discovery? Not at the time that I planned, but I'm glad it happened because every athlete goes through it eventually. So mine just happened to be during the 4 years of college.
Wow. Yeah, that every athlete does have to go through that, right? Especially in track where it's all good and it's all fun and games and we're having fun, and then all of a sudden we get to the end of the ride and we're like,
Now
dang,
what?
that's it.
Like
Uh,
now what?
where do I go now? What do I do? Who am I? And
Yeah.
it comes to an abrupt stop. Like for some athletes, it's literally already happening as we get to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Whether it's injury, whether it's you didn't make the relay pool, you didn't make USA's. Now it's like, dang, what do I do? I have this degree, this lifestyle I want to live. That's going to require some money. I'm guessing I'm going to go to work now. So
And some of the like me like myself like are international students and they're just like my visa is gonna expire. Like I graduated and it was like all good vibes and like nostalgic and all that, and then you pack up your apartment and realize your visa is gonna expire in like 2 months and you're like, what am I gonna do
I'm gonna
now?
do that was actually going to be my next
Yeah.
question. So what did you do? How did you figure this out?
Yeah. So I didn't want to go home immediately because at the time, going home after moving away to like the big city and doing all that stuff, home to me felt like I had failed, which I can get to later is not true. So I didn't want to go home, running away from home again. And one of the other girls on my team who graduated before me had gotten a track scholarship to a school in London, England. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, how did you do that? And it's called Play Overseas is the program, and you go on there and you submit your like profile, like a resume type thing, and then a school in England will essentially recruit you just like NCAA and say, hey, we want you to come here. And they don't give full scholarships, but I got as much as they would offer, and I went and got my master's degree. It was a full 1 year program, September to September. And I was like, okay, if I don't go now to get my master's degree, I don't know how long it's going to take me to ever go back to school because I was tired. I was so tired.
Yeah,
But I was like, let me go now. It's only going to be 1 year. I'll get to see like Europe. That'll be cool. So I went.
that's really dope because yeah, it's not easy going back to school later on.
No,
So
no.
you had the time, you had the route or the avenue. Yeah, definitely take it. And what was that experience like? What were you doing out there?
Yeah, so I went to University of East London, just outside of the like big city, London. It's like a train right away. Yeah, I got as much as they could give me scholarship wise. I went to the indoor championships. It's called Bucks. It's like British University College
Mhm.
Sports or something like that. And I won the 60-meter hurdles. And I didn't know that that was going to be my last race for them because then COVID happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and COVID.
So the whole reason I went, or that I was like super excited, was because the girl before me who went was like, girl, like I went all over Europe. I had track meets in here and there. And she was posting all these pictures, and I was like, that's dope. I want to go to Europe and to like go for track meets and stuff, like be on a scholarship. That's perfect. Let me do that. And so all of that was supposed to start in the outdoor season when it got warm, but then indoor season right after that meet is when everyone was like, all right, like shut it down.
Shut it down.
It's time to go home.
Pack it up. It's over.
And it was
Literally.
the Olympic year, so I was gonna stay. So this is 2020. So I was gonna stay. I was like, okay, let me stay at a friend's house here in England and keep training because Canada hasn't cut their team yet. So let me keep training. And then I made the decision, went to the mall, whatever. The train ride to the mall was empty. I'd never seen the train empty before. So that was bad vibes. The mall empty. Came home and my dorm room empty. All my roommates were like, yeah, I'm out. So I was like, all right, it's time to
Yeah,
go.
nothing more I can do here.
No, I was like, the vibes are bad. It's time to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, and that was such a horrible time for our sport. Basketball came back. They're playing in the bubble. Football came back. I remember
Yeah.
seeing some soccer games. As much as they can move outside, they try to. Our sport is already outside, and we still couldn't compete. We couldn't sit 6 feet apart. Nothing. We
No.
shut the whole thing down.
And like, since I'm in Canada, people in warmer places like could do some things outside, or I guess if you're a distance runner, you like bundle up and go for your long run.
Mhm.
A Canadian sprinter, like there was nothing I could do inside.
That's
Like I got my degree from my mom's basement, and that was how I did
the
2020.
Yeah, speaking of like getting your degree, the graduations during COVID, I watched a couple of them on YouTube. Like it's just names going across the screen.
Yeah.
So like oh man, COVID
I've
was
never been to any of my
yeah,
graduations.
ugh,
Never
that
went to high school because I was at Texas. I never went to Texas graduation because they changed it for the first year in like Texas history when we were at the qualifiers for nationals, missed it, and then didn't go back to walk the stage for my master's. So I was like, all right.
wow. Okay, so I have to ask, how do you feel about that then? Because they say, well, part of it is to celebrate. This is the end. I've done this. People get to celebrate me. I'm getting recognized. So how do you feel that you didn't have that experience? Do you feel like that took away from what you actually accomplished? Because you still did all the hard work. You passed all those classes. You got all your credits, and you finished. You did it. Like,
Yeah,
congrats on that. That's
thank
major. But do you feel like
you.
that took away from your experience at all?
I don't think so. I think at the Texas one is the one I think I maybe wanted to go to the most because that was like a big university one, and all my friends and I were graduating at the same time. And like I had been failing math like a bunch of times, so I was like, I'm not gonna get my degree if I don't pass this math class. I finally passed. Like all my teammates knew I was struggling, and like they were hyped for me. And then we didn't get to do the like walk the stage, but honestly, no, it was still like I'm still like proud of what we did.
That's good to hear. Because
Yeah,
like I said, that's a major accomplishment. You still did it. You still
yeah,
made it through all of that, passing
yeah.
classes, failing classes, after making up work and staying
Summer
up late hours,
school.
summer school, waking up super early, dealing with all the professors and all their stuff they got going on.
Yeah,
Through it all, you still made it. So even though you didn't get to walk the stage, you still made it. So it's good that you actually feel like that. It's good you feel accomplished. You're still proud of it. Because I know some people that they feel like it's just a piece of paper now. I didn't get to celebrate my moment. I don't have any
yeah.
photos. I didn't get to shake no hands. I didn't get to throw my cap or even move my
No,
tassel.
no,
Like,
stop. I wanted to
yeah,
throw the
like,
cat.
yeah, throw the cap. I've been told it all. I'm like, dang, you wanted to throw the cap out of everything. That was
Yeah.
that was the defining moment. I saw it in movies and I didn't get
Yeah,
to throw my cap.
I didn't get to
Like,
throw
wow,
it. And it just feels
yeah,
like so American
yeah.
school that like that was just like something I like. But yeah, you're right. I didn't get to do that. But I did get to go back the next year after Texas and go to a football game where they honored the Big 12. Our track team had won Big 12 conference. So we got all I was able to go back the next year, see all the people that I like ran that final year with, and we got to go on the football field and like do the wave, and we got our ring. So that kind of felt like a little graduation.
That's
But there
dope.
was,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right, there was no
no
cap.
kid, no cap. You get to move your tassel, throw your cap.
Yeah, yeah, that's
You,
true.
you might not feel like you actually finished, but no, that's dope that they actually invited you back and still recognize you for your accomplishments. That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
But moving forward from graduating, figuring out this post collegiate training space, especially after COVID, how do we get to the CTFL?
Oh yeah, okay. So graduated from getting my master's degree. I'm at home. It's COVID time. They just said Olympics aren't happening, which I was kind of grateful for because I was like I had been sitting at home for weeks, like quarantining, all that stuff. So I was like, I know I don't want to stop this journey until I'm an Olympian, like at bare minimum. And even if I never become an Olympian, I just know I have more to give. And it's been like lots of like up and downs emotionally during that process. But there's always that like little part of me that knew I had more to give and I didn't want to stop. And then one of the things that I really liked about the CTFL and why I decided to join, I think this is their third season. This is my second season, but I think it's the third season in general. One of the things I really liked about the CTFL was the fact that it was helping athletes stay in the sport no matter what level they wanted to be at. Like the CTFL has people in the league that are like world champions, all the way to people who do the sport entirely for fun. And I think that's really cool. And had I decided I wanted to just keep running, just to keep pushing myself, there was just another space to like do that competitively. Because sometimes you feel like, what am I doing this for? Like, is there anything left for me? Like, there's like, I'm at the Ability Center right now where it has like, there's basketball courts and yoga rooms and pickleball and all this stuff. So like other sports have clubs that they can go do, um, where they feel like they're like there's points going towards something, like someone's keeping score. So I think that's really cool that CTFL is like doing that where they it's competitive, everyone knows which group they belong to. You can keep training with your high school club. Like that's what I do. I still train with my high school club, Speed Academy, and then I'm also a part of the CTFL, and it just feels like there's something for everyone no matter what level you're on.
Yeah, I think that's really dope. I tell Quinn, the founder, all the time, like, I don't know if he's worried about these other leagues that are coming, these other meets that are coming, these other organizations, but the business model that he's created to help athletes stay in the sport at multiple levels. So like you said, you got the professional people that are, that have the sponsorships and are doing the Diamond League meets or Olympians. Then you got people that are trying to develop and get to that level. You got people in it that are just solely having fun and want to stay in shape. But it's
Right.
giving everybody a reason to continue to train. It's giving them something to be a part of.
Yeah.
And everybody is like appreciative and on the same level. It's not like the pros that are sponsored are looking down like you're not on my level. No, it's really dope to see that each team is becoming a family. Like these are people that didn't know each other at all.
No, for real. Yeah. I
Didn't
didn't know
care about
any of
each
these
other.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, now they're taking pride in I'm a bear.
Yeah. I'm a
I'm from the
husky.
Spitfire, the Huskies. So it's really
Yeah.
dope. But also, like I was telling Quinn, all these other leagues that are coming out, they don't care about the athletes that you have. You know, there is there is something coming that's for the top of the top, and that's cool, rightfully so.
Hmm.
But how can we ever get to the top if we don't have the opportunity? We don't have the coaches. We don't have the meets. We just came through COVID, and what I was just supposed to stop running after that just because it was.
I think that's what I think was one of my biggest issues. One of my friends called it the other day, they call it speed goggles, where people only focus on the people that are doing really well. And absolutely 100% they deserve that attention. Like you got there. But I think there also needs to be a space for and like attention given to people on their way, because the people that are at the top only got there through a process of being on their way.
Yep,
Like you expect this from me, but we need this
I
like
need to
down
get
here.
that.
Yeah. And it's not even to say that athletes that are in the CTFL are down here in comparison. Because I think that's what's cool, like what you were saying, that like if you're a bear, you're a bear. If you're a husky, you're a husky. There's a spot in it for everyone. Everybody contributes in some kind of way. So I think that's cool. And I think one thing the CTFL does really well is documenting the journey, which I think is really cool. So like everybody's getting videos. Like there's gonna be Kosuke's the photographer or the videographer. He's really cool, and he's taken like super great videos of me, and there would be less of a process to document of me going to my first Olympics if he didn't take some of those videos. And I wasn't doing the best job at that. So they've really helped me
Yep.
document
Not,
my journey.
not your first Olympics, but you came to the NB meet, right? New
Yeah,
Balance was out. So all of those experience, what was that like?
that was awesome. Like I've watched that meet on TV a bunch of times.
Right?
I so I was gonna do the weekend with the CTFL that weekend anyways and race at the college Boston meet. That was my plan. Show up, hang out with the CTFL, go to the Boston meet college version. And then as I'm walking into the airport, I get the call from New Balance saying like, yeah, you got into the pro meet. And I'm like, oh shoot, like, okay.
Got real.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, the college meet is first, and that's 2 rounds, and the pro meet is next, and it's only 1 round. And I do better the more rounds that there are. And I also was trying to get the world indoor standard to go to the championships. So I was like, honestly, the more rounds, the better. It's only 60 meters. Let's get it. So I did the college meet. I ended up doing both rounds, and then I did the New Balance meet and got this close to standard, but ended up getting it at a different meet later on.
And you got that facility record, right?
Yeah, at the Boston University meet. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, which
Yep.
I'd
Congrats.
also been to before and ran terrible. So this was like healing that past me that went there before.
Wow. So the CTFL was also healing old wounds.
Old wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really dope. What is your team like? What is the Huskies like? Or what is it like being a Husky, I should say?
Yeah, it's all honestly, it's all been positive. Like I'm a Husky. I can't remember which team my friend Jacqueline is on, but we want to like go head to head and do one of the combines that the CTFL does. So I
Okay.
think that'll be really fun. And then hopefully all the Huskies can show up and like support me, and everyone on her team can come support her. But honestly, the whole thing has been really positive. It's been good. And
That's really good to hear.
I love our singlet. There was a vote that said which singlet was the best, and maybe I'm biased, but I think ours is the
I
best.
do love the Husky singlet.
Yeah, the
It's
all
very,
black.
yeah, and the colorways, the logos, like I feel like there's some colleges like Texas, like USC, they're so like traditional, but it's like it's a
Yeah.
staple. You know what that is? Like I feel like that's what the Huskies is. It's you don't want to mess with the Huskies. It's
And I
serious.
was a
The
Husky in
colors,
elementary school, so there's a little bit of
uh,
nostalgia there. Yeah.
come full circle.
Full
Okay,
circle.
full circle. That's really dope. That's
Yeah.
really dope. I want to talk a little bit about your training right now. What are you
Yeah.
currently doing in training that you feel like is helping you this season?
Honestly, not being injured has helped a lot. I had that Achilles injury for years and I couldn't shake it. And every time I thought it was gone, it would come back at just like a different part of the season. I'd get through the first couple months and think I was fine, and it would show up later. It's showing up a little bit later, which was telling me that like you're almost strong enough, but obviously not enough to make it through the season. I finally got a hold of it, and this has been one of maybe my first full season, no injuries. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah, at least not with that one. So I think that's helped a lot. I think my mindset has changed a lot. Um, where it's just less of like this desperate need to like be fast and accomplish all of my like childhood goals to let me just show up and focus on executing. And then this is what people tell you, but you don't hear it when you want it so bad. But let me just show up, focus on executing, and see what happens.
Yeah, because you already have it. You're already on that stage for a
Yeah,
reason.
like I've done the training, I've been here every day, like, and then people tell you like it's right there, and it is right there, and there's more to come. I just need to stay calm
Stay calm,
and
stay focused.
execute. Yeah.
Think back to those COVID days. All we wanted was an opportunity. Now
No,
we have it.
literally.
Now we're here. Are you doing any weightlifting right now?
Yes. So I lift weights as well a couple times a week. It tapers off a bit when we start racing a lot, but since I have the standard now, which is like weight off my shoulders, like
Yeah,
the Olympic standard, now we can see what we can do more like training block wise, and maybe get back into some more like harder training now that the meets aren't as like get standard, get standard.
Right. You made that standard. Now we can actually focus and build to
Yeah.
where we need to be. What is your
So
favorite?
my best friend has been putting in the hours. She
Yeah,
knows because we used to be run track together since we were babies.
literally been putting in the hours. But what's your favorite weightlifting exercise? Something you feel might be helping you build your power, your strength, or just a lift that you love?
I say power cleans, hang cleans, and I don't do them very much, but I love snatches. I love like all the full body stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real powerful, make you feel strong
Make
and
you feel
fast.
strong. Yeah, they feel fast, strong. It's like kind of drama when you like, because there's so many like stages to it where you just like, oh, I know I messed up at that part. Like I like the
Yeah,
whole thing.
I
Yeah.
completely understand what you mean about that. The stages and like, oh, I got it, but I need to work on this
On
part, and then it'll,
this part,
yeah.
anything
I,
single leg, don't love, hate.
really?
Single leg, no, don't like it.
I, I gotta ask why. I had a friend or a teammate tell me he hates single leg exercises because it's like twice the work. Like,
It is.
put
It's
on my
twice the
left,
work.
then I got to do it on my right when I could have just
Yeah.
get like,
If I do it clean, if I have 4 cleans, I do it 4 times and then it's a wrap. It's done. I did it.
so,
If I have 4 Bulgarian split squats, I do it on my left leg and I'm done. But I'm actually not because I have to do it on my right leg whether I'm tired or not because you can't have those
yeah,
imbalances. It takes twice the time.
twice
And
the time,
twice.
twice the effort, the
Yeah.
control, and what gets me about single leg exercises is that it doesn't feel like I just used one leg. Like I'm tired. I'm
That's the
done.
thing.
I'm whooped.
M-
How can I do this other
How can
leg?
I do this other leg? I feel most of it in the one, which is just way too much focus on one muscle. If I'm doing a power clean, that's just like more heart than anything. That's just like how much heart do I have left? That's how it feels to me. And it's the full body, everything working all at once. My little left leg doing a Bulgarian split squat all on its own?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, those single legs are no joke.
No, those are no joke.
Oh yeah, that hurts you down to your gut. You be like, bro, I gotta go again. And coach is like, come on, you gotta get right
You
to
just
it.
get
I'm
right, and
tired.
your other foot's like slipping off the bench. It's a mess.
It's safe to say Bulgarian split squats are your at least favorite then?
Least favorite, burpees right after that. Everybody, I don't know anyone that likes burpees. I don't like back squats.
Okay.
I have to do those a lot. The I think I hated them more when I wasn't good at them. The more you like start to get better, it's like not as like painful. But I hate that feeling of being stuck at the bottom. Don't like that.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it's just a lot. It's just a lot of weight literally on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Like
I don't like squats either. Not my favorite. I
no.
definitely love deadlifts, power cleans, my favorite. Like those explosive movements, really. But yeah, when I really gotta struggle through it and the squat at the bottom, not my
No.
favorite. Favorite at all.
And then if you drop it, then you have to
Re-
re-rack it, but it's too
Yeah.
heavy to re. If you're by
Now you
yourself,
gotta
then
take
you got
weight
to take.
off. It's too much.
It's a
It's way too
mess.
much.
If
Oh,
I mess up a power clean, the bar's on the ground, like right where it started.
you literally drop it, throw it, get away from it.
Hmm.
Hey, true. Okay. Now we got your favorite weightlifting exercise, favorite track practice. Let's say practice is over. What are you refueling with after? What's your favorite post workout meal?
Hmm. Post-workout meal. Oh, I can't go all the time because like I can't afford to go all the time. It's expensive. My teammates and I love Booster Juice. It's a
Okay. What do you get?
smooth. It's a smoothie spot here in Canada. I love a tropical smoothie. Anything mango. If it's not mango related, then it's like some type of berry related. But like especially like a night, like a hot summer practice,
Mhm.
Booster Juice for sure. And there's one right down the street from where we practice, and it's hard. It's hard not to go every practice. And I can't just get the mini of anything. Like I gotta get the big
Hey,
one.
got it. You gotta get that, especially like you said on a hot day, right? Are
On a
you
hot
adding?
day, it's so good.
Are you adding any extras, proteins?
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes I add the protein in there.
okay.
but you got to be careful because I don't know exactly what protein they're using. So if I add protein, it'll be my own protein.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. And you do got to be mindful of that, especially with track, because the drug testing and everything
Yeah.
is, yeah, it's a little wild.
Imagine your whole career over a smoothie. No,
Yeah.
it's hard to beat
Yeah.
those allegations. So I just try to stay away.
And I mean, it's happened. I've seen people lose their whole career over a piece of chicken or a piece
Yeah.
of chicken from somewhere, and they I didn't even eat nothing. I was trying to eat good,
Yeah,
and
you try your best and it doesn't always work out. And I don't want something so positive, like such a positive memory of like going to practice and then going to Booster Juice that yeah, only the stuff I know is certified can go inside my smoothie. Other than that, I'll just get a nice mango smoothie all on its own.
yeah, I respect that. Just like to stick with the fruits.
Yeah.
But we got your favorite track workout, favorite lifting exercise, favorite post workout meal.
hmm
What are the goals this season? What are we really looking to accomplish?
I really want to be in that Olympic final. Like that's pretty much the whole plan of this whole season from the start. Before I statistically knew that I could do it, it was always the game plan.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like. What do you feel is going to be the determining factor for you to get there? Like, what do you focus on? What do you feel like you have to achieve? You hit the standard.
Yeah.
So what do
Um, yeah. So I think right now it's just about cleaning some things up in my race. Even the race I ran the other day, which was a new PB for me and the standard, wasn't the cleanest race ever, which is good. You know, there's still stuff to work on. But I think a lot of it is just going to be just sticking through doing the things that got me here. Just because I've technically qualified, like the job is not done. And this is the part where I have to stay like mentally strong through all the stuff that got me here.
Yeah, true. Definitely have to stay mentally strong, stay focused.
Yeah.
What has kept you motivated throughout this season, throughout this whole journey, really? Because you've been through a lot of ups and downs, injuries, COVID, and one, you're not from the States and you come out here for college, then you experience all of that and you don't want to go back. Literally, you've been through a lot. What has kept you motivated through this whole journey?
I think I just always knew that I had so much to give in this sport and that all the work that I put in was going to produce something. I had no idea when, and a lot of the time I felt like it was taking way too long. I got a glimpse of it in high school about where I could be in this sport, and then I had to go through the process of thinking like, did I peak in high school? Like, am I washed? Do I need to hang it up? Like, are you done? And not knowing exactly which event was going to take me to the Olympics because like I said, I did the one, the two, the 400 hurdles, the open four, and I'd seen success in a lot of them. But I was like, which event is going to make me world class? I literally just took a shot with the 100-meter hurdles because it was the one that was progressing slowly throughout college. um, Found a coach that worked for me, and I just knew that everything that I had been doing, and I'm a pretty disciplined athlete, and like usually make the right choices. It had to amount to something like I knew I could do
Mm,
it.
yeah, it's all adding up to
Yeah,
something. You're, you're not going through it just to go through it. You know, that's one of my
yeah,
things. Like
yeah.
I didn't get here just to get here. So
Just to get here, and I had to start enjoying the process. I think just to enjoying the process again, because in high school I was doing all of those things and seeing the success that it people would be like, how did you do it? And I was just like, well, like I went to practice, I trained hard. Like, what do you mean? And then there comes a point where you do all the same hard work and you don't get the results. So I started to think like, does hard work not equal success? Sometimes it doesn't. It and that's just the unfair, cruel part about life in sports is that sometimes the hardest working people don't make the most amount of money, don't have the highest ranking position in their job, um, but maybe not right away. And that's what I was thinking, like just not right now, but it's gonna
yeah,
come.
sometimes it's a not right now. You know,
Yeah,
not when you want it, not when you're ready, but when you've done everything it takes, and you've really, you know, got to that level, you'll get what you deserve. So
There's a girl, Talia Brooks, a multi-eventer for the US. I remember she had posted, I think she had just gotten injured, and she posted, um, delayed, not
yep.
denied. And I was like, yeah, that's helped me. I'm like, that's the one. I said, I'm just delayed. Many years delayed. I wanted to be an Olympian. Like, I had this whole thing planned out. Like, this is when I was going to go to my first Olympics. Da, 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 da. It's not happening. Things aren't going according to plan. And that happens to everybody. Mariam, your story is not unique in that sense. And she posted that. And I was like, yep, just delayed. Just delayed. Just keep showing up. Just keep showing up.
Delayed, not denied. Because if you stop showing up, then that's you denying what you want. You're not putting in the work anymore. You're not focused. You're not going for it. You know, so
Right.
that's that's
And
huge.
it tested how much I love track. Like, do you love track even when it's not going well? Or did you only love winning, is what I had to decide. Turns
True.
out I love track.
Yeah, because a lot of people do only love it when they're winning. You know, and those are the athletes that, as soon as college is done, it's all right. That's it.
Yeah,
See ya. I'm out of here. You know, they're not trying to figure out the next step, and rightfully so. That's perfectly okay.
yeah,
You know, it's not for everybody. Seems to be for the people that want it, that are gonna go after it. You know, so that's just how it
yeah.
is. That's literally just how it is, you know. But one of my favorite questions that I like to ask everybody, that I really like to end with, is throughout your journey, looking back on everything you've experienced, everything you've accomplished, right? What is something that you've learned, something you know now, that you wish you could have told yourself back then?
I wish I had been nicer to myself.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, the years it wasn't going well, I was so mean to myself. And to the point where I would literally tell people, like, and it's, I guess, part of what it's coachability in the wrong way. Like, I would be like, there's really nothing you can say, like, criticism wise, that's gonna hurt me, because I'm the meanest to myself. Like, I got it. So, like, what's the critique? And, like, yeah, be coachable, but, like, you don't have to be that mean to yourself.
Yeah,
And you create a lot of stories in your head about yourself, about what other people think about you, and, like, what it means about you if you don't show up to a meet and do what you think you're going to do. Like, it's very personal. Like, it can be very personal. And, like, if you're a basketball player and you think you're the person that's going to make the game winning shot, you tell yourself all the time, like, I'm clutch. And you get the ball at the end of the game, and you miss how I felt like I was missing for like 6 years. And so you're like, I'm not who I
yeah,
thought I was. And you're so much more than a game winning shot. Um, and the process is, like, it's going to be tough because the work is tough, but I did not have to suffer emotionally the way that I did at all.
yeah. Especially if you're making yourself suffer, right? Like, the whole life that we live is in our heads, and what we're telling ourselves, what we tell ourselves that other people think of us, and how we
Yeah.
tell ourselves our performance was. Like, you might be fourth place in the Olympic final. You like, dang, I'm slow. I didn't make it, but you didn't realize, though, you're the fourth fastest person like that season, that
Yeah.
period. You know,
Period.
that's not bad. You didn't win the medal, but you know, and so now you're just hating yourself. You're telling yourself you're not this, you're not that, and it's very daunting.
It
Very daunting. Almost makes you not want to do it
makes
again.
you not want to do it. It makes you show up to the meets with, like, fear or with so much pressure. And it's tough because I literally had a 20-year, like, childhood dream. Started 6 years old, and it was a lot. It's a lot of pressure to have a childhood dream. Like, what do you do when you think your childhood dream is not going to come true, but you've been working for it for so long? Like, what do you do? um and turns out you just relax and you give yourself grace. Like, okay, you're doing okay, you're gonna be okay if it doesn't work out, because you've made it through to this point. Like, life will go on. The people that love you for the right reasons will continue to love you. And you'll find something else to be passionate about if this doesn't work. So once I was able to just like shed that through therapy, I recommend therapy. Um, yeah, the work I've been putting in was able to like shine through.
That's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep. Nah,
Very
that's deep.
passionate about that. You don't have to be so mean, Mariam. Oh my God.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us are, especially in track. Um, I tell a lot of people this too. I said this a lot. Track and field, we face a different level of adversity. Like you can be on the football team, never play, y'all win, and it's like, woo, yeah, my team won. Football,
Yeah.
basketball, soccer, most of those sports. And I mean, you can be one of the top players, make it to the NFL, still not play. You're one of the top players, but you're not playing. You get a Super Bowl ring. You
You
know,
get a ring. Yeah.
track is not that sport. Track, everybody get a lane, everybody runs. It's a ranking system. You think, like, oh, I was third in my heat, but when the heat sheets come out,
Yeah.
you finish like 27th
Yeah.
out of 30 people, bro. Like football, they don't even like check like that.
They
It was
don't check like
first
that.
15, so and so won, whatever, they move on. But track is literally a ranking system. So you can be at the bottom and you're like, dang, I'm really not him. Like
I'm really not him. And I saved those. Um, I saved emails that I had gotten from coaches where we would do a run and everybody did the same run and then they would send out the times. And I was at the bottom like throughout college the whole time. And I saved those emails. Like, not really sure why. Like, did I save them to hurt myself?
yeah,
Maybe at the time. But now I think I just look back at them and it's kind of just like, it was a journey, it was a process. Like, you're not always going to be at the top. But yeah, track is very public.
very public. And not every sport, not everybody in general, if you don't play sports, you don't really face that adversity. Like nobody knows what your grades are. Had you
Yeah.
have not told me that she was struggling with math, I would have never known. I'm just like, college degree, she did it, cool. But people don't know what you're going through. Track is public. I can see, oh, she had a bad start. They toasted her. Now people are on social media talking trash, but they don't know what you go through, right? And now
Not
you're
at all.
making it so much worse than it is, telling yourself you're not this, you're not that, that maybe I should just give it up. It's not an easy sport. This is this is a whole different level. And then you also can't compare yourself too. So you're telling yourself, I'm not this, I'm not that. And somebody else that you're racing is at a completely different part of their career.
That's the thing. I gave myself no grace for that. Like that didn't cross my mind. Or if they were at a different level and I recognized that, it was why aren't I
Right.
there?
See?
Instead of focusing on the process of how do you get there.
Yep.
Like I can I can attribute a lot of the struggle I faced in college to injury, but I don't think it would have been as like tough as an experience if my mental was better.
Yeah.
Like I think if I could go back and do college now and get the same injury, it would have been completely different.
Yeah. Because mindset is everything.
Yeah, it's really everything because it changes the way you move. Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. But part of this problem, I still, relate back to the CTFL. Had there have been a CTFL back when you started, then you would see the different levels. I got to do this, I'm going to make that, then I'm going to make there, then I'll be able to develop. But we go straight from high school. Did I get a scholarship to college? Now I got to go from college to the Olympics. There's no development. There's no, you don't really have that time.
Right.
You don't really see the route, the levels to it. So then when things go wrong, it seems like it's so much worse. Life is over. I'm nobody now. I mean nothing to the world. This is all I had. It takes away from who you actually are as a person because our sport doesn't have anything. But football, basketball, there's so many different levels. There's a G League for the
Yeah,
NBA.
exactly.
One of my favorite players, Isaiah Thompson, He was out of the league for a bit and just
Yep.
he went to the G League, just got
Yep.
signed again. But it's because he has that ability to do that. In track is there's nothing you can
There's
do. Now to see
it's not a lot. I've
there's
seen
not a lot.
I've seen like very talented people, more talented than myself, stop not just because they didn't want to do it anymore. It's just because it's like what else is out there. And so now with the CTFL, the people still have the ability to go back to their high school coaches or whatever club that they train with. They get to train with their club team with a purpose in mind, knowing that they want to go score points and compete at the CTFL meets for like in the league rankings and stuff. So like I just think it's important to have like community and like in those stages have something to look forward to that might not feel as daunting as like okay, now I've graduated from university. I'm not in the world rankings right now, like nowhere significant, but I want to go to the Olympics and be in the final. Like, whoa.
That
Yeah.
like that's such a huge goal, especially when you don't have a ladder to climb. If you don't have those steps to get there, now
Yeah.
it's ETFL, and now I have a team to represent. I have, a community to support me, right? I have
Right.
people that, are supporting me online as well. But then the CTFL itself is growing and connecting the athletes with brands, right? So not only did you get to go to the New Balance meet and run there, but now you're actually connected. Like, I don't know if you realize, but they're watching you now.
Honestly, awesome experience to meet everybody from the New Balance crew, see how their facility works, meet the guys that run like New Balance Canada. Great people. I'd never done anything like that before. Even though that's the spaces that I want to be in, great experience overall. Yeah, those guys are so nice.
Now you got that experience, you met those people, and they're probably saying the same thing. Wow, she was really sweet. She's really a dope person.
I
Like, I
hope
see
so.
how dedicated she is, and they probably want to have you back. So now they're thinking next year we got to invite her back. Like those are the connections that a league can do for you. That's why Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan. He was in the league, and we saw him on TV all the time, and we see the story. But in track, you don't even get to see that. Like we
I
don't.
think CTFL does a really good job at storytelling. That's like so important.
It's huge. It's huge. I
That's how
was
you get
watching.
the community support because people see the
Right.
journey.
Exactly. I was watching your your content with the CTFL going to the meet, and I'm like, wow, that's dope. Or the hoodie that they gave you, it says Hurdle Gang at the back.
Oh yeah, I love that.
I was like all of this content is dope, and this goes into the track meets and like how I feel about your performance in your career. I'm like, wow, she's really dedicated. She's from there, went to school over here, went back over there, the COVID year thing, like she's still staying dedicated, still pushing through. And hurdles is not easy as well. So that's a whole separate,
Very technical event.
yeah, that's a
I
whole
think
separate battle.
I think to go back to your point, like how would I have gone from like where I was when I started to like where I am now? And like what we were talking about, like that community, like where would I have been if, like I said at the start, Sharon Warmke at Durham Legion didn't take me in? Where would I have been? Because I had multiple coaches throughout Durham Legion that took me in and like helped me build through those different stages of my career. Sharon when I was really little, and then other coaches at Durham. And then like where would I have been if I didn't have that high school community that I had with the Speed Academy, which was the team that I was able to come back to and try to start this pro journey when I didn't know where to start. I called my high school coach, like I called Tony, and I was like, what's the plan? Like, like I want to keep running. Like, can you help me out? And he was the one who led me to my current coach now. Um, and then now I have joining when CTFL started within that pro space, join the CTFL, and they're able to get my storytelling going. So now people want to like invest and like pour into it. And it's like it's all these like different communities at different stages. And I'm so grateful for everyone that I still have because honestly, like my best friend that was like in the comments earlier, like she knows like some of it's like been low and they just keep pushing. Like, we know you want it, you're not done yet.
We know you
Yeah.
want it. You are not
I'm
done
not
yet.
done yet.
You're not
Just a
done.
little delayed.
This is your season. You truly have everything it takes to make that Olympic podium. Not just make it to the Olympics, not just be in the finals. I'm talking about be on that podium, grab you a medal. You have everything it takes. You're on this journey for a reason. You're getting there for a reason. Keep going. Stay dedicated. I promise you have everything it takes.
I
Wishing you
appreciate you.
I'm wishing you a healthy season
Yes.
with plenty more personal records. Keyword healthy season. Because if you
Healthy.
stay healthy, you can definitely make that Olympic
Less
podium.
than 100 days to go, and that's really all I need right now is good training blocks and health.
Yes, you got it for sure. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit down and have this conversation with me. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure connecting with you.
Thanks for having me, and thank you everybody for tuning in.
Of course, that's it for us here on Trackletics Live. See y'all next episode. Peace.
Peace.